Overshot a little bit. What's up, folks? Brendan here with Top Secret Imports in Durham, North Carolina. Today, I am here to talk to you about one thing, and that is importing your very own Kei truck from Japan. Now, whether you're importing one directly, ordering it from one of these websites or exporters or auto portals that you see online, or whether you're buying one from a US retailer like ourselves, we're gonna take a deep dive, talk about all the aspects of it, the benefits of doing it yourself, the benefits of buying it from a retail dealer, and lots more. Let's go. So, as I mentioned, this 1999 Honda Acti is the latest of 3 generations of Acti which are legal for import in the US. There's a few key things to think about when you're importing your own truck from overseas. One is always going to be the foundation of ordering a good solid truck with which to start your project, find your farm vehicle, or your secondary or even tertiary runabout for your family. So, number one, you want to be buying from an exporter or buying through the auction system with an exporter that is going to thoroughly inspect your vehicle for you, is going to provide you with real-time photographs and video around, under, and inside that video so that you can truly assess the physical condition, the lack of rust, or the rust that may be present on the vehicle. So we're going to take you through some of the things that you want to look for, some of the key problem areas on a unibody truck like a Honda Acti, and some of the problem areas you'll find on some of the other trucks that you may be shopping for. One thing to consider when you're buying an Acti or any other Kei truck is, should you go with these newest generation models? Well, for a lot of reasons, it's a yes. For some reasons, it may be a no. So first of all, you'll notice this funky little front end. This is a major change from the older form factor, which featured a true cab forward design where your wheels were set further back from your bumper. This, what they call semi-bonneted design, was really more about safety regulations taking a step forward while still staying K-class compliant in Japan. So with these semi-bonneted builds, you get a little tiny hood here which opens and houses your windshield washer fluid in your coolant overflow bottle. You get your jack and some of your tools stored up front to give you more legroom and a little more space inside the driver's cabin and more storage space under those seats. Once you've decided which generation truck you'd like to buy, either the earlier HA3, HA4 with its cab forward design, or the newest HA6, HA7 with its wheel forward semi-bonneted design, is to inspect your truck thoroughly, either via the exporter or agent working on your behalf overseas. After all, we're talking about importing our own Kei truck, so let's get down to what's really important. And everything that's most important can be found under the vehicle. I know we said everything that's important when you're importing your own truck from Japan is underneath the vehicle, but let me first start by mentioning the bed has a lot to do with the decision that you're going to make about your truck. First of all, the Honda is the only unibody truck in its class. This means that this bed that I'm standing on is an integral part of the unibody truck that this is built upon. So unlike other trucks that feature a body-on-frame design where you'll see physical frame rails under the truck, when you look up under your bed here, you'll find your bed surface is facing down at you, and the frame rails are actually integral parts of sheet metal directly connected to the body and bed of the truck. If you were to strip this truck of all of its removable components, what you would be left with is a shell of a vehicle with a bed sticking off the back. If that helps you better understand the construction style that makes the Honda Acti different from the other trucks. One, you'll always want to check under the mats, or have your agent or exporter check under the mats. Here, you'll see a couple of little spots of surface corrosion where there's some broken paint and there's been some trapped moisture, but clearly no corrosion. There's no signs of rust breaking through the paint, no failing metal or anything like that. You're going to want to make sure both sides are like this and that the underside is equally as clean. As you can see, under the truck is going to be a main area of concern. You're going to want to ensure that your truck has been fully inspected and that they show you all angles of this unibody frame, the underside of your bed, the underside of the driver's cabin, both front and rear of the truck, and all of the little hidden corners. As you can see, there is some undercoating on some metal components on this truck, but it's largely original. That's pretty common to find throughout Japan, and it's done as more of a preventative rather than a curative, or to hide or be deceptive about any rust. So that's not always the case, and occasionally you will find a unit that looks otherwise clean but may have some hidden rust or old corrosion underneath. This is not typical of all exporters, nor is it typical of all vehicles available for export, but it is something that you'll want to be watchful for and make sure that your agent or representative is thoroughly inspecting your unit and providing lots of photographs and documentation of some of these problem areas. So the car business is a dirty business, and if your exporter or export agent won't get under the vehicle or request photographs under the vehicle, work with a different exporter. Now, under this vehicle, as you can see, it is spotless. You have fuel lines, brake lines, sheet metal with very limited corrosion on some open surfaces where there's some broken paint at seams and corners. It has been touched up here and there as a rust preventative over the years, but this is really a pristine example. In fact, it's so nice. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to take the camera here and I'm even going to show you the steering rack side and under the front end of this vehicle. So here at the rear of the vehicle, you can really see that things are no different. In fact, somebody has taken the time to install a new OE exhaust. Clearly, the truck has been taken care of, likely stored inside. We have intact rust-free heat shields, and you have all of the seams and corners and underside just as clean as the top is. This truck is truly one of the cleanest we've seen in a while. So while we're putting a lot of emphasis on the underside, the other important thing to take into account is the life your truck has lived overseas. Depending on its condition, wear and tear on and in the bed, and dents and dings around the sheet metal, this can tell you quite a bit about the vehicle you're buying and how it was used and how it was taken care of overseas. As you can see with most of these vehicles, there will be some dents, dings, and imperfections around them, really representative of their 25 plus years of work around Japan. And you've got to remember, these are the Japanese Toyota Tacoma, Ford Maverick, and workmen's vehicles widely used by tradespeople, commercial businesses, liveries, taxis, and the like. But if you're really going through and hand-picking vehicles, taking all of the necessary care and steps involved to recon, maintain, and prep it prior to export, you can really come away with a great example, very clean, rust-free, ready to go. So we've covered some of the basics on what to look for when you're starting to shop for your truck. But now let's talk about some of the key options and features you might want to ensure your truck has to get the most value for your dollar when you're looking at and buying your truck overseas. First, you've got 4 things that are really important to the US buyers. 1, is it 4-wheel drive? 2, does it have the 5-speed manual transmission? 3, does it come with factory air conditioning? And 4, the odometer reading. Miles, miles, miles. You hear US buyers talk a lot about miles. You hear US buyers talk about seeking the lowest mileage trucks available. This can be both beneficial and detrimental to your buying process. 1, low mileage trucks are going to be fewer and farther between than some of the medium and high-ish mileage trucks. Now, I'm not suggesting you run out there and buy a 300,000 kilometer Honda Acti, but I am saying that some of the best value can be found in the middle mileage between 80 and 120,000 kilometers on the odometer. The reason for this is going to be indicative of consistent service over the past 25 years and likely was not a truck that was parked in a field and left to sit there for a decade prior to the export process. We've imported some of the lowest mileage trucks in the world, and we've imported some average higher mileage units that have served from year 1 to year 25 prior to being exported to the US. Some of the more problematic issues that we've had come with some of the lowest mileage vehicles that you can buy. Low mileage vehicles that have not been in use in a while may require much further investigation as to the performance of all of the major systems, especially when it comes to engine cooling, engine oiling, the internal condition, and the transmission condition. So keep in mind, low miles, while good, is not always best. Our personal opinion here at Top Secret, and what we're typically looking for overseas as TradeMaster Company Limited, is a medium mileage truck that's going to present the best value for our buyer without bringing in stuff that has hundreds of thousands of miles on it. This is a perfect example of just that. When shopping for your Kei truck, or Kei van for that matter, you really need to think about how much you're looking to spend, how much value you're looking to get out of the truck in terms of purchase price for features and options received, and again, your use case for the truck. If you really drill down on those three things, you can make some informed decisions. So first and foremost, is it going to be used off-road? Is it going to be used off-road routinely? If it's not going to be used off-road, is it going to be used on a lot of loose surfaces? So think dirt and gravel, but not necessarily on a farm or a hunting lease or, navigating the Uwari forest with the Jeep crowd, right? So if you're not going to be regularly using it off-road, if you're not going to be handling the ups and downs of a farm environment or the trails of a hunting lease or a woodlot or forested areas, if you're mainly going to be using it as an errand vehicle for your Home Depot runs, as a little runabout for your family, or as a project truck as a hobbyist, four-wheel drive is great, but it may not always suit the purpose that you're buying your truck for. If you have a small business in town, or you're going to be building a custom truck that you want to hoon around and street scene and go to the car meets in, well, you're going to get a lot more truck for your money by foregoing four-wheel drive and looking at a two-wheel drive model. If you're buying your truck for use on a farm or on a hunting lease or for your property, do you really need air conditioning? Think about it for a second. If you're hunting in the fall and winter, are you really using your air conditioning? If you're using the truck on farm for work, how far are you really driving the truck? 5 minutes across your fields? 5 miles down to the county dump? You're in the truck for 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 30 to 45 minutes on a long trip. Do you think that you need air conditioning for a cumulative 20 driving hours through the summer months? If you forego air conditioning, you can save a tremendous amount of money or get a significantly cleaner, better, lower mileage truck for your money. And finally, the 5-speed manual transmission. It wasn't until 1999 that the automatic transmissions were unreliable at best. So prior to 1999, it was almost a given that people were looking for a 5-speed manual transmission. But as the popularity of Kei trucks and Kei vans has grown, it's entered into worlds that don't necessarily include automotive enthusiasts. It may include many employees at a small or boutique business that need to drive the vehicle. It may include multiple members of your household, some of whom can't drive manual. So something to consider might be one of the later generation units equipped with a factory automatic transmission. Once we got to 1999, the transmissions became much more robust and automatics became much more normal to see in Kei vehicles. Prior to that, the 5-speed transmission is, for the majority of buyers, the way to go. If you are strictly using your Kei truck for off-road use, for farm use, on a property, on many tens or hundreds of acres, the 4-speed transmission can also provide you huge savings when buying and importing your own truck. The 4-speed transmission, most commonly associated with the Honda Acti Attack, was also equipped with an extra low forward and reverse gear. The gearing in the 4 speeds was a little different. So in 4th gear, you have the ability to run highway speeds at 55, 60 miles an hour, or about 90 to 100 kilometers an hour, but you are wound very high in fourth gear, and your RPMs are going to be significantly higher than they would be in a 5-speed transmission going the same speed. However, if you don't rely on your American ears and our inclination to shift early when shifting high-revving vehicles like these little K trucks, it is fine to go with a 4-speed vehicle for on-road activities, but just know that your top speed is going to be limited more by gearing than the actual top speed of the vehicle. So, considering the things that we just talked about when you're shopping for your imported K truck, you take one of those creature comforts away, you take one of those benefits or desirable options away, and your truck is going to be significantly cheaper. If you take two of those away, you will find some absolute steals on the other side of the world. Now, the other thing to remember, and what I tell a lot of buyers, is this: there is a fixed cost in bringing your truck from Japan to the US. So I always tell people that you really want to find the most bang for your buck when shopping for a truck, and you actually want your truck to be a significant portion of the total overall cost of your vehicle when it lands in the United States. If you consider that just the ocean freight shipping is anywhere between $1,400 and $1,600, that you're going to have $100, in some cases up to a couple $100 in additional port and wharfage fees just associated with the shipping, then you've got a customs entry fee, you've got tariffs, none of which are even forecastable at this time. You've got your EPA, your DOT, your ISF filing fee. You may have transportation from your port. As a general rule, you'll have in tariffs, custom charges, shipping, and associated charges anywhere between $2,500 and upwards of $3,500, even $4,000, depending on the quality and value of the vehicle you've purchased and the tariff rate you may be subject to the day your import comes through customs. You want to make sure that you're spending at least the same amount, if not more, on the actual unit you're buying in Japan. And here's why. If you buy a $1,500 truck in Japan, landed in the US, that truck is going to cost you $4,500. And if you consider the fact that you just paid $4,500 for a $1,500 truck, that means only 33 cents of every dollar you spent went to the truck you bought. Now, if you buy a $4,500 truck in Japan, 4-wheel drive, air conditioned, low miles, pristine condition, 5-speed manual, all of those other charges are then several $1,000s on top. And landed in the US, delivered to your driveway, you may have as much as $7,000, $7,500 in your truck. But you have as much as 65% of all the money you spent went to the actual vehicle and not the transportation, shipping, logistics, customs, and taxes associated with that vehicle. So, as the saying goes in the car business, a crappy car will never be as good as a good car already is. And a crappy car will cost you just as much as a good car to get it to be 90% as good as that good car already is. So when you're shopping for a truck, the way to save money without scrimping on quality is drop a creature comfort. Go for some higher miles. Forgo the 4-wheel drive if you really think you're just going to use it for the Home Depot and the farmer's market. Really consider your use case before deciding on the right truck for you, or van, or K car, or anything else for that matter. And you'll probably find that one of those 3 items or creature comforts or desirable options doesn't necessarily fit your use case. Save some money, give it some thought, work with a reputable exporter, make sure that you're getting a full inspection, videos and photographs of your vehicle before, during, and after the auction process, from port, prior to loading, and then again on the US side, and you will have a smooth, transparent, and easy time importing your own vehicle. We're going to use one specific truck as an example to illustrate kind of what I've talked about here today. This is a 1999 2-wheel drive Honda Acti equipped with the 5-speed manual transmission and factory air conditioning. This truck has 83,000 US miles on it. Oh my gosh, yes, that's like 36,000 kilometers. Not low mileage, right? Well, again, electronic fuel injection, coil on plug, 83,000 miles, and basically what's a 1999 Honda Civic wrapped in a pickup truck body. So, this particular unit we brought in through our partner exporter, TradeMaster Company Limited. So if you are looking for a beautiful HA6 1999 two-wheel drive Honda Acti with factory air conditioning, guess what? We would be happy to ship one direct to you from TradeMaster Company Limited, landed at any port of your choosing for $4,250. That is shipped, exported, paperwork sent to you, done deal. You handle the import process. You go ahead and get a customs broker, bring it into the port nearest you, pay the tariffs, pay the entry fee, the wharfage, and all the other charges, coordinate final mile trucking or pick it up yourself at the port to, experience more of the process. $4,250 landed at any port in the US. Now, on the flip side of this coin, this 1999 two-wheel drive Honda Acti equipped with air conditioning is in inventory here at Top Secret Imports in Durham, North Carolina. We've already talked about all the things you want to look for when shopping for a Kei truck. Well, this 1999 Acti, guess what? It's two-wheel drive. It has medium-ish miles on it, 83,000 as I mentioned to the customers that might want to import one themselves. Now, should you buy it through Top Secret Imports? Well, it doesn't really matter to me. If you'd like to order it direct, we can sell it to you directly. Our partner exporter, TradeMaster Company Limited, whether we're shipping them to ourselves or we're shipping them direct to our customers from the Pacific Northwest to Texas to Florida to New York, and I'm talking upstate, not the city, we can ship direct to you from TradeMaster seamlessly. $4,250 shipped to any port. Now, you think, oh, there's a lot of unknowns. I've got to wait 2 or 3 months. I don't even get to see it first. I'm kind of a see it before I buy it person. Well, guess what? If you want to buy this truck, if you want to test this truck, if you want to make sure things like the horn works on this truck, do the blinkers work? Is it really rust-free? Is it really fully serviced, ready to go? Are the tires really 2024 date codes? Is the battery brand new? Is the oil changed? Is the air filter changed? Are the plugs changed? Are the plug wires changed? Is the timing belt done? Is the water pump done? Are those darn bushings and motor mounts done that everybody on Facebook is talking about? Hell yeah, you're buying it from Top Secret Imports in Durham. In fact, most of that stuff is taken care of as TradeMaster in Japan. If you order direct through us, $4,250 includes all the major maintenance items except for the timing belt and water pump. We will inspect it and inform you of its condition, but everything else, recharging the air conditioning system, brand new tires, brand new batteries, oil and filter change, air filter, spark plug wires, and many more line items are all done for you prior to export. When you pick up at port, you have a truck that's almost guaranteed to be ride and drive. Now, it did spend 60 days in transit. It was handled and driven by a bunch of merchant marines, which, merchant marines. So you never really know what happened in transit, but for the most part, aside from maybe the occasional battery dying because the key was left in the on position, or the occasional merchant marine that got angry at your side view mirror for some reason and decided to break it, for the most part, our trucks come in truly ready to ride and drive. In fact, when this truck got here to our lot, all we had to do was detail it, take photographs, double check everything, and list it for sale. So, what's the difference between buying direct and buying from us? Well, it's about $3,000. Yes, $4,250 shipped to any port of your choosing. Or, if you're a touch it before you buy it kind of person, $7,250 off the lot here in Durham. Now, why would you pay $3 grand more for the same truck I just told you I'll sell you for $4,250? Well, all those other charges, from the time it arrives at customs in the US to the time It is in your driveway, ready to go, title, tag, done. All of those other charges are absorbed by us. All that work is done by us. And you truly have a turnkey white glove experience. You pull up on the lot and you end up leaving in the outro of one of the other videos of ours that you've watched. We'll have your truck in the showroom for you. We'll have your truck fully serviced and we'll ask you to wave goodbye on video as you're driving off down South Miami Boulevard here in Durham in your new truck or your new car. Do you have to wait 3 months? No. Is your money overseas for 3 months? No. Do you have to wonder about the condition of the truck? No. Do you get to see it, touch it, feel it before you buy it because that's the kind of consumer you are? Yes. So, if you want to import one, contact us. Contact TradeMaster. We have international salespeople, folks. Here's their WhatsApp numbers. They're real. We've got people in Japan. We've got people in the Gulf countries. We've got people that can source parts and vehicles far and wide. So you can reach out to us. You can talk to us right here in Durham, North Carolina with a US number and a US website. You can take a look at our website and see what we have coming in from our exporter TradeMaster Co. Limited out of Shizuoka, Japan. Again, WhatsApp numbers, their website. Follow them on Instagram. We would definitely appreciate you following them on Instagram. We have the most epic inventory coming out of Japan. Cars from Japan, you're on notice. TradeMaster Company Limited and Top Secret Imports. Ready to go, fully serviced, fully transparent, export process, import process, buy direct, buy here in the US. We're gonna guarantee you literally the cleanest trucks at the very best price, not only in North Carolina, but up and down the East Coast. If you don't believe us, come check out some of our inventory. Check out our website. We've got a bunch of inventory still at our facility in Japan, awaiting shipping reservations. Any of our Japanese inventory units can be ordered direct to a port of your choosing. If you're up in the Pacific Northwest, and we've got a couple of friends on Facebook who are, including some who can provide references for whom we've shipped to the port of Tacoma before, take a look at our website. If you see something on there that you fall in love with, we have a price for that unit shipped to the port closest to you. If you're here local in the southeastern United States, here in North Carolina, Southern Virginia, upstate South Carolina, East Tennessee, come on in. We have folks coming in from out of state week in and week out to see inventory in person, see it before they buy it, drive it before they buy it. We make the process super easy. There's no nitrogen for your tires. There's no door cup guards. There's no BS. There's no F&I department trying to sell you gap insurance. Once you decide on your vehicle, we'll have you in and out of here in under an hour and on your way. If you need it delivered, we do that too. We've delivered to Texas. We've delivered to upstate New York. We've delivered to Oklahoma. Idaho is, I believe, the farthest we've delivered by truck in the United States. We have references in, I think, going on 23 or 24 states around the country. We have direct import clients on both coasts. We have great references both overseas and in the US. So talk to some of our previous customers. Come check out our inventory. Check out TradeMaster's inventory. Buy one direct. Save money. Fully serviced, ready to go. Other exporters charge $1,000 to perform $250 worth of maintenance services. Go line by line and add up what an oil change costs, what an air filter costs, what a fresh set of tires in Japan costs on these little 12-inch wheels. Add up what all those maintenance services would cost, even in the US, and you've got Japanese exporters charging US market prices for quite literally what's just a basic maintenance service package. They're not including the timing belt. They're not including the water pump. They're not including any necessary seals and gaskets like the crank and the cam, the valve cover, or anything else that might be leaking under there. This is basic maintenance, and other exporters are charging $1,000 for it. We here at Top Secret Imports can do all those same maintenance services and your water pump and your timing belt and your crank and cam seal and still get you out for approximately $1,000. So whether buying from overseas or buying in the US, really, there is no substitute. And I mean Porsche. But to use their line, Top Secret ain't bad either. So look at that, fully extendable antennas, only from Top Secret Imports. There's enough shit in there that could be chopped up into something, right?